In this session, we would be preparing another question for a double column cash book. And here we would be dealing with some check transactions. And since we have some check transactions, what would happen is we would be required to prepare a separate bank ledger account. Now let's look at the question together. Enter the following transactions in a two-column cash book and bank account for Srinivasan for June 2020. Okay, so here we would be required to prepare two-column cash book, and to facilitate the check transactions, we will also have to prepare a separate bank ledger account. So let's prepare this particular question together. Let me change the camera view and let me bring up the camera for the board over here, and let's look at the question together. So here what is happening is they are asking us to prepare the two-column cash book, and they are asking us to prepare the two-column ledger account, and to facilitate the check transactions we will have to prepare a separate bank ledger account. Okay, we will have to prepare a separate bank ledger account. So please remember, all your check transactions you have to simultaneously enter into your two-column cash book as well as your bank ledger account. So that is how we would be working out with this. So let's look at the first transaction. Okay, let's look at the first transaction. Please remember, all these transactions are taking place in 2020, and let's look at the first transaction. Okay, so the first transaction is started a business with rupees 20,000 in cash. So remember, whenever you start a business with cash, that initial amount of money that you bring in, that is called as capital. So on June 1st, okay, cash is coming in. Okay, cash is coming in. So why is cash coming in? To capital account, and the amount is 20,000. Okay, the amount is 20,000. Okay, so we've done with the first transaction. Let us look at the next transaction. June 5th. June 5th, opened a current account with Canara Bank and deposited rupees 12,000. Okay, so what is happening over here is you're taking some cash from your business, you're going to Canara Bank, and then you're opening up a current account over there. So when you open up a bank account with cash, what happens? Cash would be going out. Okay, cash would be going out. So June 5th, by bank account, and the amount is 12,000. Okay, amount is 12,000. Bank account is what type of account? Bank account is personal. Golden rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. When you open up a bank account, is bank receiving or is bank giving? Bank is receiving. So June 5th to cash account, and the amount is 12,000. Okay, so here you have opened up a bank account for cash. Okay, you have opened up a bank account for cash. Okay, now let's look at the next transaction. The next transaction is issued a check for rupees 1,000 for machinery purchase. Okay, and I want all of you to pay attention to this. Okay, because when it comes to check transactions in two-column cash book, it is slightly different and a little complex in nature. Whenever you carry out payments through check, or whenever you collect payments through check, in total 3 entries have to be passed. Okay, in total 3 entries have to be passed. Now let's look at the transaction on June 7th. Okay, so June 7th, what is happening is you're buying machinery. Okay, you're buying machinery. So June 7th, buy machinery account, and the amount is rupees 1,000. Okay, the amount is rupees 1,000. So on June 7th, you have bought machinery and the amount is rupees 1,000. But there's a slight catch with this transaction. How are you processing the payment? You're processing the payment with the help of check. Okay, this transaction on June 7th, how exactly are you processing the payment? You're processing this payment with the help of check. So how do you now, whenever it's a check payment, where would the amount go from? The amount would be going from your bank account. Bank account, remember the golden rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay, debit the receiver, credit the giver. So is bank receiving or is bank giving? Here, bank is giving. So June 7th, by cash account, rupees 1000. Okay, so you're giving cash rupees 1000. This cash is coming into the business. Okay, this cash is coming to the business. So to bank account, rupees 1000. Let me explain this transaction once again. On June 7th, you're buying machinery. Okay, you're buying machinery. So buy machinery account rupees 1000. So what is happening over here is you are processed the payment for which you have already entered the amount over here. But how exactly are you making this payment? This payment is made with the help of a check. Since the payment is made with the help of a check, remember the money would be going out from your bank account. So here it would be by cash rupees 1000. Okay, bank, the money has gone out from your bank account. So what is happening over here is you're buying machinery, you're taking the money from your bank account, bringing it into your business, and then you're processing the payment. So by doing so, what is happening is you're having a entry in your 2-column cash flow. However, the money at the end of the day is going out from your bank account. When you have a debit as well as a credit entry for the same amount, these two amounts will cancel out each other. So the net position of your cash in your 2-column cash book will remain the same. However, the money has gone out from your bank account. Okay? So whenever you have any payments through check or whenever you receive any payments through check, remember you always have to pass 3 entries. Let's look at the next transaction, June 8th. Okay, June 8th. On 8th of June, you have purchased goods and then you're paying by cash. So again, here, so you're paying by check. Okay? You're paying by check. So for this again, you will have to pass 3 entries in total. For this again, you will have to pass 3 entries in total. So by purchase account, the amount is rupees 6,000. And how exactly are you making the payment? You're making the payment using check. So for this, June 8th, by cash account, because you're withdrawing the money from your bank account, bringing the money into your business. To bank account, and the amount is 6,000. Okay. So transaction on 8th, we made it with the help of check and we have passed 3 entries in total. Now let's look at the transaction on 9th, June 9th. Received a check for rupees 980 in settlement of rupees 1000 from Archana. Okay, so here what is happening is Archana had to pay you some money. Archana had to pay you 1000 rupees, and instead of 1000 rupees, Archana is now paying you 980 rupees. Okay, instead of paying you 1000 rupees, Archana is now paying you 980 rupees. So let's look at this one. So here, June 9th, okay, to Archana. So how much is Archana supposed to pay you? Archana is supposed to pay you 1000 rupees. But instead of 1000 rupees, how much is she paying you? She's paying you 980. So which means the difference is what? Difference is discount. The difference is discount. And how exactly was this payment made? This payment was made with the help of check. Okay, this payment was made with the help of check. So what will happen over here is for check again, you're done with 1 entry. There are 2 more entries that you have to pass. How exactly did you receive this payment? You received this payment in the form of check. Check, where would you realize? you would realize the check through your bank account. So you're taking the check from your business, going to the bank, depositing the check. You're going to the bank and then you're depositing the check. So now let's count 1, 2, 3. Check transaction, 3 entries we have passed. It is completed. Now let's look at the next one, June 10th. June 10th. On 10th of June, what is happening is purchase goods for rupees 1,000 and paid by check. Okay, purchase goods for rupees 1,000 and paid by check. So by purchase account, amount is 1,000. Okay, but how exactly are you making the payment? You're making the payment through check. So since it's a check transaction, 3 entries. So June 10th to bank account, amount is 1,000, and then here June 10th by cash account, amount is 1,000. So we are done with that. June 11th, okay, June 11th, paid into bank. Okay, paid into bank. So what does that mean? You're taking cash from your business and then you're going to the bank and then you're depositing. So June 11th by bank account, amount is 10,000. Amount is 10,000. Okay, and here June 11th to cash account, 10,000. Next one, paid Nandini 450 in settlement of her account for 480 by check. So here you're making a payment and you have to pay. Yes, sir. Sir, I'll take 5 more minutes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And just finish off this question.
Okay.
June 12th, what is happening is you're paying Nalini. Nalini, you were supposed to pay 480 rupees, but instead of that, you're paying her 450 rupees. So what does that mean? You're paying, you're allowing a discount, or you're getting a discount of 30 rupees. Now remember, how was this payment made? This payment was made with the help of check. So again, you have to pass 2 more entries. Okay, so we are done with that. One last entry that we have, that is withdrew money for personal use by check, rupees 800. So remember, whenever you withdraw money for personal use, what is that called as? That is called as drawings. So June 18th by drawings account, okay, 800. Now remember, where is this payment going from? The payment is going from your bank account. So to bank account 800, and then here June 18th by cash account 800. Okay. So this is how we would go about preparing 2-column cash book when we have check transactions. Okay, this is how we would be going about with the preparation of